Well, it's the first sunny day since I've set the system up about a week or so ago. Yes, because I work during the day, I didn't know if it was working or not, and yes, success, it is working, funny enough. So this is our solar panelled hydroponic aquatic plant setup. Yes, that was a big mouthful, but it is what it is. Now, I've recycled a whole lot of bits and pieces, hence all this PVC pipe with the holes in it. I'm not actually going to plant stuff in this, I don't think, because, yeah, there's going to be too much water flow going through, and unless I upgrade the size of the PVC pipe, if I put plants in these, they're just going to clog the pipe and all my water is going to go absolutely everywhere. But anyway, the way that it is set up, if we crouch over here, up there is a couple of solar panels. I've actually got one turned off because they're both 35 watts each, so it's 70 watts of power going into a solar pump down there. And that solar pump is a little bit too big, but again, I'm recycling what I've got. What I might do though is tap into this line because I've got all these turned down, and maybe pump water up something else as well. So I've got extra sort of, yeah, I've got more circulation than what I really need. There is Benji. So it's working pretty well, and the way it's working obviously is just the water from that tub is pumping up through this black irrigation pipe. Yeah, I had to figure out what it was then, and that is trickling into these. See, it's way too much flow, even turned down, and that is going through the overflow, which is just a hole drilled in the pipe, well, the tub, and yeah, that is just a bulkhead fitting going back through this, gravity fed down into that. Pretty straightforward, and the reason I've got it going like that is all this volume of water is connected. So each one of these tubs is in a bigger volume of water, but seems to work, and I don't actually have any leaks. First time, which is amazing, because usually you'll have a drip there and a drip there and all that sort of rubbish, but no, so far so good. So this is still winter. Yeah, winter in the subtropics is pretty warm. When summer hits, these might get a little bit too hot, and what I might need to do with these as well is put a UV sterilizer or something on them just to stop any algae blooms, because I'm using hydroponic solution. I've just got my EC meter reading it right. I've just added more, hence why the water is a little bit murky. So once that all clears up, I've got plant media in pots. If I grab one of those, up in there, and yeah, I will plant a different species of plant in each one of these tubs. And as they grow, I'll have cuttings, I can sell the cuttings, and yeah, it'll be interesting to see how fast they grow with how much light we get out here, and yeah, the hydroponic nutrients, because I haven't done it with hydroponics before. No reason why it won't work. But yeah, that is where we are with this system. I'm still mucking around a little bit with it. I need to put a cover over that because it is sort of not really undercover there. So rain is going to dilute my hydroponic solution. Shouldn't be too much of a problem unless we have a massive storm, but I don't know. If I get round to it, I'm going to cover that bit over there, and I'm going to move a whole lot of these old cactus as well, because I've got a whole lot of cactus. That's my cactus dumping pile at the moment. Yeah, deceased estate cactus and trichoceros and all sorts of stuff. Just a giant overgrown mess. Yep. But we'll get round to fixing that one day. Yeah, hopefully sooner rather than later. But that is where we are with that. So in the next couple of videos, maybe a couple of weeks or so, I don't know, it depends on how much time I get, there'll be an update on this system. I may change this piping around and just do bigger, like maybe 3-inch or 4-inch piping along here. That way it's just going to be a little bit more user friendly, and then I can drill a few holes in that. And what are you panting for, Benji? He's a boy with his tail. Yeah, and that way I'll be able to plant a few plants in that as well. But I don't want it to turn into a giant overgrown jungle, much like the rest of the yard is. And talking about an overgrown jungle, look at the lettuce. I know, this is the same idea, solar panel with a pump down the bottom, pumping all the solution into this pipe, which is somewhere there. And that's bigger pipe again. And yeah, there are the roots. There's the hydroponic solution. Yep, that's the root from the plant next door. Away we go. So we have lettuce. It's starting to get a little bit too hot here. So even in hydroponics, it's starting to flop, which is probably not a great thing. Yeah, but that's almost ready to harvest. My control, look how tiny it is compared to those. I know, that is the same conditions, obviously in dirt as opposed to into hydroponics. Just more nutrients in the hydroponics. Crazy. Yeah, so yeah, as I said in the last video, not going to plant any more lettuce because that is way, way, way too much lettuce. But hopefully this system for aquatic plants will work equally as well. And yeah, I will probably get a better roof for this because this is a very old roof, pretty dodgy, it's half collapsed. I have to crouch down to be in here, which obviously does not work super well when you're like 6 foot tall. And yeah, a bit silly, but I am considering getting a greenhouse as well. I reckon a couple of greenhouses, something like that, and it'll be a lot better too. But yeah, with a little bit more light, I think we'll be fine. But in summer, there's going to be a lot of light in here, and yeah, I'll just have to sort out single-celled algae because of that. But I reckon a UV sterilizer that will get rid of any single-celled algae, and then I can run the nutrients high as I want, pretty much. So there we are with the hydroponic aquatic plant setup. I know. Now the rest of the garden has kind of been neglected because of winter. The cage. Oh, the cage. Yeah, let's look inside the cage. I needed both hands to actually unzip the zip. Now, I don't think the cage is going to survive another summer with storms. Yeah, it's a little bit bendy in places, but it has done a good job. Oh, look, there we have more bloody, what are they, aphids? Aphids eating my lemongrass. Yeah, it doesn't stop aphids and mites and all sorts of little tiny things, but it does stop grasshoppers and all the bigger things that wipe stuff out really, really quick. So at least with aphids and mites, you can attack them. But yeah, grasshoppers are brilliant at just being a right pain. Now I did harvest my, what were they, cauliflowers. 1 out of the 3 were fine, and the purple cauliflower has got some slug damage on it, I'm pretty sure. So I don't suspect that will actually survive, because wherever the little slugs have gone, yeah, they'll be somewhere. And at night, maybe I'll look tonight. Yeah, you can see slug damage on that leaf. Little buggers. Yeah, we only had problems with slugs in winter because summer they fry, so they just hide. Who knows where the bloody slugs hide? Probably eggs underground. No idea. But I did plant one of the little lettuce in there. That is the same age as those ones. I know, but it hasn't been in hydroponics. It's just been sitting there. Well, there you can see where I dug it out. It's been just sitting there, being watered, but lettuce and dirt is a fail, I tell you. And that is a good potting mix. That's not rubbish potting mix. I know, otherwise my cool spiky plant is cool and spiky. Oh, you got a flower on you. That's disgusting. But that may be some sort of edible fruit, whatever it is. My mugwort, variegated mugwort, which is growing completely different than the other mugwort, which I had to trim down because it was insanely big and apparently super toxic to dogs. Whoops. So I had to make sure Benji wasn't around that. That has grown crazy tall. This one just spreads, which is weird. My yuzu, or yuzu, whatever you pronounce that, with a dodgy leaf. It's going to take 10 years to produce fruit, so we're ignoring that. And the last of these, which absolutely got butchered, look at that, you're not eating that. Beetroots, totally screwed beetroot. But apart from that, everything is vaguely okay. Look at that. That is ridiculous, isn't it? That is an eggplant. I know. I did harvest some of the beefsteak tomatoes. The other ones around here survived the frost. Yep, they're still going. That one's starting to change colour. Not as big as I would have liked them. But again, they are just planted in dirt and they're not in hydroponics, so that would be why. My peanut crop is going well over there. Probably needs a little bit more sun, but it is what it is. What we should do is go round to this side and, oh, loquats. Check that out. They have got to be the best fruit ever. If you've never had a loquat, oh my God. They are like a citrusy, orangey, lemony, lime, delicious. So I've got 3 different types of those. I think that one's the Nagasaki vase, which is that one. I had to trim it down because it was getting too big because these are all still in pots. This one, what's this one? Honeydew. Didn't have any last year, but it's developed a few this time. Not overly great, but it is about 8 foot tall now, roughly. And then this one, not even going to pronounce that. I think it has a few on it as well, but not many. Yeah, so hopefully there'll be a couple of each type to try, but Nagasaki vase was awesome. It'd be real painful if these 2 are better than Nagasaki vase and there's only like 4 fruit or so, but is what it is. Oh, my little guava, which one was this? China pear, which I thought died. Didn't die. It just lost all its leaves. Even though I didn't transplant it, it lost its leaves, turned into a sad stick, but it is growing back. So that is handy. We have lemons, more lemons. We had some oranges. I think that is a grapefruit. Yeah, it looks pretty dodgy. I think something is inside that. What is that? Looks like a lime. Oh, it is a lime. It is a Tahitian lime. Look, we have a lime. That's almost limey too. And those dumb little tiny berry things, which is just ridiculous. That's a citrus. I know, and they taste horrible. Oh, if I can open one up, it's just seeds and pulp and freaking horrible. Oh, yuck. Don't eat that. But otherwise, oh, my dwarf peach is possibly going to produce a peach this year. I know I've had it for what, a year and a half. Flowered last year, nothing happened. A lot more flowers this time. A couple more stalks. We'll see how that goes. I don't know where that tomato has come from. And ironically, that tomato looks so much better than the other ones. Yeah, that's what happens when a random tomato grows. And purple beans. I didn't plant these. There must have just been a purple bean somewhere. And there we go. So I don't know if you plant beans and tomatoes together, if the nitrogen from the beans helps the tomatoes. Not too sure. Possibly. My poor. It's not a pawpaw. Those are technically pawpaws, but not really. Yeah, my blueberries did not like being in this garden bed. So I do plan on moving them, but they're just here for now. They're not dead, but they're not alive. Well, very alive. This is the other mugwort. This is the other side of the cactus. Look at it, and it smells delicious. Yeah, you can make it into a tea. It's supposed to help with dreaming. Nah, never had any of that. I just saw a grasshopper. That's a bloody pain. Yeah, it just got way too big, and I've trimmed it down so many times. I've just dumped it here because it's a too hard to deal with area. It's just been dumped, but we'll deal with that when we deal with that. Otherwise, I probably need to clean up again. Not really going to clean up this week or next week, so I'll have to wait a little while. Coffee tree is going well. There's still a few little coffee bloody beans or coffee fruit there. I've got another 2 coffee trees as well, so hopefully next season I will have enough to actually have a cup of coffee. That'll be amazing. And yeah, my mangoes are still mango-y. Starting to get new leaves on them. Yeah, it's very early this time of year as well, so but it is just starting to heat up. Otherwise, chicken drumstick tree has not lost all its leaves, which is good. And everything else is a complete and utter jungle. I need to, yeah, probably sort out all this stuff. I just have overgrown plants in pots everywhere. And yeah, as it's been winter, a lot of stuff have lost its leaves. And they will come back. Look at the weed in there. There's cactus under there somewhere. Yeah, I will deal with this. I just need a motivation day and then we can be motivated. But this is sort of what's happened to the yard. It is overgrown. It's been winter. It's been pretty horrible. There is weeds are bigger than the actual trees. Anyway, I might leave it at that. If you did like this video, please click the thumbs up so I know. comment in the comments, because I don't get many comments, but thank you very much to the people that always comment. You know who you are. And yeah, hopefully we'll have a cool system there. I need to redo all that. Maybe do some more racks with tubs here. And yeah, go full crazy. Anyway, I have to move everything around before I do that. So anyway, we will see you in the next video. Yes, so much fun. Ha 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 ha.